So good morning, honored guests. Among you are members, partners, funders, and supporters of our organization. I'm Pamela Baxter, the president of the Small Scale Food Processors Association. A bit of housekeeping: this session will be recorded and uploaded to the new website. Please sign into the chat to ask questions, and we will endeavor to answer any questions posted there during this session. Today, I'm proud to welcome you to the launch of the Small Scale Food Processor Association Women's Initiative website. As we gather in many places across the country, we do acknowledge that we are on Indigenous land, and we are grateful for the food that they have taught us to like and that we now use and prepare and share around our tables every day. 3 years ago, Status of Women Canada, now called Women and Gender Equality, WAGE for short, generously agreed to fund our proposal to study financing issues for women food processors when they begin their businesses or scale up their businesses. Our goal was to strengthen the economic security for women food processors. While both women and men processors face issues, research shows that women in particular encounter magnified barriers. Through a variety of methods, we sought to understand the barriers women face regarding financing and the personal and cultural barriers they face. The majority of our small scale membership are women. These women need particular assistance in order to succeed in their businesses. In this 3-year study, we documented in detail barriers to success for women food entrepreneurs. Then we assembled tools, programs, and partnerships to actively help startups and scale-ups. This included self-help tools, workshops, which include the Refresh programs, which many of you attended, courses, and the beginnings of a micro-investor program and an impact investor program. The investor programs are in the works, so we have accomplished a lot in these last 3 years. We are continuing with these efforts for at least another 2.5 years with the help of and support of WAGE, Women and Gender Equality, and other supporters and partners across Canada, and a dozen other organizations at least, including universities. Together, we hope to influence policy that will help all small-scale food processors make a major difference to food security in Canada. So now, a quick overview of today's session. There will be a review of the WAGE-funded project, a quick introduction to the new website, and then our guest speaker will address a critical issue facing women entrepreneurs today: problems with financial confidence. So now, I sincerely wish to thank Women and Gender Equality, in particular, Catherine Laurie, our program manager. Catherine has been accessible, helpful, prompt, friendly, and professional as she has guided us through the maze of government requirements. Thank you, Catherine, for your invaluable help, and I'll turn the meeting over to you for a short while. You're on mute, Catherine.
Catherine, try that again.
Okay.
I'll try that again. Thank you, Pam.
Okay.
Thank you so much for those kind words. I am just thrilled to be with you here today on behalf of Women and Gender Equality Canada. I am joining you in this virtual gathering from Amishkwashe, Washahegan, otherwise known as Edmonton, which is located in the heart of Treaty 6 territory. And it is my privilege to call these traditional lands of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, and the homelands of the Métis Nation of Alberta my home. I had the pleasure of joining this work with Candace, Sandy, and Pam on their project with WAGE just less than a year ago. And in that short period of time, I have been so impressed with everything they have accomplished through their project with WAGE And I have learned an incredible amount from these bright, dynamic women about their sector, about the challenges that women face, and all their thoughtful work to support women small-scale food processors to start and to grow their businesses, and also to change the systems that should serve them better. So welcome to everybody who is joining us today for this great website launch, and bravo to Candace, Pam, Sandy, all of your supporters, partners, collaborators, for all of the work that you have done to seek gender equality in the food processing sector. And congratulations on the launch of the new website.
Thank you, Catherine. Candace Appleby, our Executive Director for the past 17 years, and Sandra Mark, our Principal Program Manager for this project, and Sandy was a founding Executive Director as well. They've been project managers, and the two project managers for this initiative. And Candace will now give you an overview of the project with the help of some visuals.
Just waiting on the PowerPoint. There we go. Hannah's been a trooper. Thank you, Hannah. So we've prepared a high-level overview of the findings and results that were also included and more detailed in our final report. As Catherine said, we've had a lot of supporters and partners throughout this and collaborators, and we've listed a lot of them here, but I know we've missed some, and I want to apologize in advance for those that we missed, but we want to say thanks very much to our supporters and partners, our steering committee, and our advisors. Our goal is to ensure financial inclusion of women small-scale food processors as keys to their economic empowerment. Why we want to do this? Well, SSFPA experience has shown that women small-scale food processors experience difficult problems accessing finance to start and to grow their businesses. This is a common issue facing women entrepreneurs, but even more challenging in the food industry. So what we did is we asked questions. We asked questions from our members, both men and women, from our partners, and from research and entrepreneurship, as well as research on women in business. And what we found? Well, we found that women face challenges due to gender norms that often exclude women. Women often internalize these norms when faced with these behaviors, and women have been shown to be very cautious about using other people's money. All small-scale food processors face business barriers. The role of the food processor startup is poorly recognized in policy and in practice. The food processing sector is very, very highly regulated and may not be understood by lenders and/or investors. And what impact do these factors have? Well, without equitable access to finance, startups grow very slowly and may miss market opportunities. And without credit experience, even if a big order comes in, quick ramping up is almost impossible. And what can be done to overcome these issues? Well, we've designed an ecosystem of support that we believe is necessary to substantially increase the startup, scale-up success of small-scale food processors. The ecosystem of support includes fostering partnerships with SSFPA and compatible organizations, startup tools and programs to assist incubation, support with scaling through accelerator programs, access to finance through peer lending and investment pools, emphasis on new online market channels, a regional infrastructure to support local food production, and policies that align with the ecosystem of support protocol. We are piloting all aspects of this ecosystem design with partners and a variety of funders. Watch our website for news as projects in development are launched. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Candace, for that overview of this long, complex project. Now, Sandy will provide a high-level overview of the project and its results.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Pam. We'll just do a little introduction to our new website. It's now open. I think Pam is going to declare it open. And so I'll just give you a very fast overview with the help of Robert Thompson, our webmaster, who has helped put this whole thing together. We will quickly show you a few of the pages on this site, but there are many, and you can see across the top, there are lots of different opportunities for finding information. We started the website as a place to post the results of our studies. Soon we realized that there will be a lot more to share, so you'll find that the site will constantly grow and change over time. Some of the reports that document our search for a clearer understanding of the issues facing women, small-scale food processors, are written as very well complex and maybe kind of boring research reports, unless you like that sort of thing. But the best ones that are really the ones where that come in the words of our women members. We're grateful to our members for sharing their experiences so generously. My favorite parts of the website are the stories of our women food processors. I think you'll enjoy learning about our members' challenges and victories. We have some videos of members speaking about their trials, tribulations, as well as how they overcame the problems they faced. Do take the time to go through those video stories. We're particularly excited to see how many of our members are coming up with clever innovations. We will continue to post these stories with thanks to Kathy Dobson and Allison Norrison for their assistance in writing these stories with our members. The way our members talk about what innovation looks like to them can inspire your own thinking. Check in on the Innovation Stories tab and get inspired. There are many changes going on in the food sector. We will be posting blogs to ensure our members are fully familiar with these trends, and we will continue to post news and any new resources we create and uncover. We are working with partners, designing critical new programs and tools to further demonstrate the components of our ecosystem design. Once ready, these new tools and programs will be made available on the website, along with those already available there. Over the next 2 years, we will be reaching out across the country to gain input from small-scale food processors everywhere in Canada to amplify our experiences in BC with their experiences as well. We plan to work together with partner groups to ensure that our concerns are firmly in the sight of federal and provincial governments as they consider new ag food policies that are coming up in the next several months, and to look at the programs that we really need to have. We think this is the right time for small-scale food processors to be recognized for the work they do to strengthen our domestic food economy. We want to see the resources we know are needed to always be available to them. As we are launching this website today, we're also launching our newsletter. Many thanks for Hannah Massinio for her work to pull this together. Please sign up to keep in touch with us. Post any questions or comments about the website or the newsletter on the members listserv, and we will respond. We hope that you will find the resources and information on the site to be useful to you in your own business development journey. We are available to help you when you need support. We're looking forward to celebrating in your success. Thanks, everybody, and do enjoy our new website.
Thank you very much, Sandy. And I'd like to thank you and Candace again for overseeing this long and complex project and for your commitment to head it up over the next 2.5 years too. And I want to add that the guests would really find it helpful to visit the website. Processors across Canada will find self-help tools, extensive resources, and inspirational stories that Sandy mentioned. So, and now I do declare the Women's Initiative website up and running. And now to underline one of the major things that we learned through this project, which was women have a lack of financial confidence, we invited Hadriana Leo to speak to us. Hadriana is the CEO of Money Navigator International. She's on a mission to inspire, empower, and equip women to unapologetically embrace wealth. Hadriana, over to you.
Thank you, Pamela, thank you so much for having me. I'm actually very excited to be here. Before I jump into my presentation, I'm going to share with you that I am the daughter of two small-scale food processors, but their processing plant is in my country of birth, which is St. Lucia, which is where I happen to be right now. Now, I'll tell you this, I love when ironies, well, not ironies, I love when things synchronize, because just this morning, I helped my dad produce one of our local indigenous cocoa, cacao beans. It's all up in the house right now because there's some roasting getting ready to be prepared into sticks that we use to create our local hot chocolate. And not long ago, I created some tamarind. I don't know if you know what tamarinds are, but we use those to create balls with spices and sugars. And I now have the recipe. Oh yeah, I can do it. It's very interesting because I've been speaking with Sandy about this. Probably we've been talking about this for 2 years, more than 2 years, certainly before the pandemic. And it just happens that I agreed to speak at a time when I'm actually in the heart of small scale food production in my own home country. This is something fantastic. And I think it has lined up perfectly for exactly this reason, because while I would have said that I don't have very much in common with those who are on the call, I actually do. And I know what it's like, especially having actually done the process with my parents the last few weeks that I've been here. I know what it's like to face the limitations that come when you have an opportunity to scale, but the funding is not there. And especially in my work with women, I know that hesitation. I know the hesitation because I suffer from it. Whether you're a small scale food processor or you are an entrepreneur who's creating goods from your kitchen, whether you are someone who has a fantastic idea and you just want to bring it out to the world, as a woman, you face certain hurdles. And I'll tell you that the ladies who are doing this project have already done the research. They have already identified a lot of the roadblocks that you face. And you listening to me right now, you know what's up. You know that there are things in your way. You know that there are things that you will hesitate at. There are points where you're just going to say, you know what, I'm not sure I want to do this. Just back up a little bit. I know that, you know that. So how about we spend some time this afternoon? For me, it's 4:00. How about we spend some time this afternoon talking about what we can do to actually get through the hurdle. Now, understanding that I have about 20 minutes to speak with you, understand that I can't go into the nitty gritty, and I certainly don't want to present you with a case study this afternoon. I want to leave you with something that's going to get you going. I want to leave you with your spidey senses getting all a crackly, and with you knowing, not just thinking, but knowing that the opportunities to finance the next stage of your food processing business is at your fingertips. And not only should you do it, you can do it. It's well within the realm of possibility. And we're going to move it from just possibility to high probability. I love that. I love that. So if you're with me, go ahead and throw something in the chat. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, how you're feeling. We're going to jump right in. One of the first things that has dawned on me in my work with women is, I sit there and I'm like, how is it that men do it? Do you know what I mean? Robert, no offense, I'm not talking about you. Frank, I see you, I feel you. This is nothing personal, but by golly, how do the guys do it? They come up with this idea and confidence is nothing to them. They're like, oh yeah, it's gotta work. Like, duh, it has to work. It just must work. And not only do they think that it's going to work, they think that you think that it's going to work, that it just has to happen. And they just take it as a default that is going to happen. How do they do it? And one of the things that I have to acknowledge, and you as a woman looking at anything financial, we have to acknowledge that our current system of finances, financial management, financial literacy even, That whole thing was created with a man in mind. It was not created with a woman in mind. And I'm using very broad terms here for gender, but just bear with me. If you face the world as a female, the financial services industry is set up to treat you differently. Now, understand that it's not their fault. The person that's serving you is operating within the system. The person that is going to review your business plan is operating within the system. They are doing what they've been taught. And until they learn to think otherwise and to view other metrics as being just as or even more valuable to the female food processor, we will not get change. Now, I'll tell you honestly, a lot of times, and I hear this very much, I have been told to fake it till you make it. Yeah, hoorah, we've all heard it. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. Fake it till you make it is a very masculine energy position. I'm sorry. Faking it typically does not register with the female energy, with the person who looks at the world and sees through feminine lenses. Faking it is disingenuous. You hear fake it and you think, yeah, no, you're not being honest. You're not being real. How can I fake it till I make it? So just that principle, which works for the men, it works for the guys, it works for them very well. Just from that premise, we're already facing a deficit, because just the idea of fake it till you make it does not resonate. And even when we try to do it, we can't do it for very long. We can't sustain it. It just doesn't seem, it doesn't align. So I would say to you, that does not work. And trying to turn ourselves into something else within a system that is not created for us, it is not going to work either. Because what many women are facing is that you have a brilliant business idea. You have already, to some degree, proven the viability of the business. But now to take it to another level, you're having to approach people that probably you don't know. They don't understand your business. They don't even understand some of the metrics that you're looking at. You're operating in a system that was not designed for you. But ladies, the times have changed. And even if the system has not changed, we have changed. What do? I know I heard it earlier when we spoke about changing the system. And kudos to every person who has the energy. I believe it's a gift. I believe it's a gift that some people have to be able to push for change, push for adjustments, push to be heard. I believe that is a gift. Kudos to you. I don't have it. I don't have it. And I'll tell you honestly that probably a lot of the women on the call today, you probably don't have it either, because you just want to go into your kitchen, make pies, sell them, and go back and make more pie, right? I get it. So instead of trying to change the system, if that's not your gift, if that is not your place of strength, I will invite you to join me in creating a system that works for you, creating a system that you can thrive within. And then, trust me when I say this, the status quo is going to adjust for your success. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to witness. So how do we do that? I hate asking questions that are supposedly rhetorical, but people are actually needing the answers to. Very high concept, very high level. I'm going to share with you a few ideas that I think will help you to manage that a little bit. First things first, and this one is for the administrators, the executives, all of those who are in positions at the SSFPA. I need you to not just research and discover where the roadblocks happen to be for our women, but I need you to create capital funding. And I'm pretty sure Sandy's on it based on what I know about Sandy. I need you, having identified the roadblock, having seen what the situation is outside in the traditional institutions, it's time for us to create our own funding ecosystem, a funding ecosystem that actually celebrates the things that are important to women as small scale food processors in this country and around the world, because they are similar. I want to charge you to not just talk about the research, but take action to create change in the space, and you're already doing it. So I will celebrate that for you as an organization and for all of you who are going to be part of this movement. Now we need to have the funding. Pull it from wherever you need to pull it. Get the grants, get every level of government you possibly can, get them involved, but we need to create capital funding. We need to create buckets where women can come in and say, this is my plan to scale. These are my metrics. These are the things that are important in this scaling to me. And I'd like it to be funded. And you are perfectly positioned to create that. So I'm going to leave that there, because now I want to talk to your membership. I want to talk to your membership because, ladies, you are business women. Stop thinking of yourself as bakers and I guess cooks or small business owners. You are CEOs. You are presidents of businesses, whatever the size is. You are a successful woman in business. And we need to put that hat on. Every time you were putting product out, someone is saying to you, this is good. Who did it? And you're going to say, oh, it was just me. I was fiddling around in the kitchen. Yeah, no. You are and have proven yourself to be a successful business owner. Ladies, put on that hat and wear it with pride, like a fascinator at a horse riding something, a horse race. I think that's where they put the fascinators on. Wear your hat, wear it with pride, because that is who you are. Now, as a business owner, you have to ask yourself a question. And I know that for our economy to thrive, the expectation is that businesses should scale. And I'm going to ask the question that not many people ask. Do you want your business to scale? Because scaling your business may not be your goal. And I think every successful business owner deserves the opportunity to create their business their way. At the top of my little notes here, I said, do it your way, but do it. And I channeled my inner Frank Sinatra, and I'm thinking, I did it my way. Yes. Do you actually want your business to scale? Do you want an international distribution? Do you want perhaps to just go from coast to coast Canada-wide? Are you content to dominate and have that ultimate market share in your city? Do you want to scale? Essentially, you have to ask the question. Now, I can hear you thinking, oh, I don't want to go through all this trouble. You know, scaling is so much headaches. I have to deal with the federal this and the corporate that. And the tax man, he always comes knocking. Sorry. You have to deal with all these inconveniences, let's call them, of scaling. That's not a reason to say you don't want to scale. Okay, so let's just throw this one out the door. Here's a better question to ask yourself. If you could create the business of your dreams, would you want to scale? Because as a successful business owner, and I'm taking this in for myself as well, as a successful business owner, you get to create the business you want. So the inconveniences of scaling, you get to understand them, learn about them, and by golly, delegate them, right? That should not be a reason why you're not scaling. If you could build the business of your dreams, what role would you play within it? Who would you have with you as a member of your team? What would you be doing on your days off? Because you would have days off, right? What would you do with the time that you would save because you'd be able to afford the machinery to automate certain parts of your production cycle? Amazing things happen. And then once you can, I guess once you can put your finger on the pulse of what your ideal business would look like, then you can decide, is that ideal business uber successful in your local market, uber successful on a national scale, or uber successful internationally? You get to make it anything you want. But once you answer yes, that you do want to scale your business, I also want you to make peace with the numbers of your business. This thing about women aren't good with math, trust me when I tell you, it's not true, first of all, and you don't have to be good at math to run a successful business. Trust me, you can still make pie. Besides, baking is absolutely, it's like chemistry rolled into very specific. If the oven's too hot or the baking powder is not fresh enough, there goes the, no, you don't put baking powder in pie. There goes the cake, right? So you know already, and I'm really talking a lot about pie and baking, aren't I? I might need some for dessert this afternoon. But I know that there are many small-scale food processors on this call who do more than bake. But pardon my fascination with baking. I made a fresh load of bread 2 days ago, and I think it's about time for us to do another one. Make peace, make friends. In fact, embrace the numbers of your business. Remember, I spoke to you about that system that was created with the male in mind? Well, even in a female-led system, the metrics of your business are still vitally important. Your financial confidence still needs to be rooted in actual numbers that say you're running a successful business. And I think that is important for us, all of us, to acknowledge that these metrics are important. Acknowledge that others are going to be looking at these metrics and using it to determine the viability of your project. It may be a challenge. No problem. I bet all of us here have faced a challenge or two in the past. It might even stretch your current skill set. Yes, I know. I totally get it. Your skills are your skills, and this might be pushing it. No problem. You have met that challenge before. It might even push you to your limits. I remember pulling my hair out. I'll tell you honestly, the first time I made bread, I was told to pour hot water on the yeast. And you know what I did? I boiled water and I poured it on the yeast. Anybody has an idea of how my bread turned out? It was solid as a rock. But that is a challenge that was met. That is a skill set that was upgraded, adjusted, and improved over time. It is the exact same with your metrics. You need to make friends with it. Stop nurturing the doubt. Stop nurturing the doubt, and instead start nurturing not just possibility, but probability. Let's go with that. How do you do that? Yes, I'm asking a question. I'm actually going to answer it. And this is where it gets to be less about the numbers and more about you as a small scale food processor, but more vitally, you as a woman who is a successful business owner. One of the most vital components that I found to women being successful in their journey to wealth is an identification of a purpose behind you doing what you're doing. No, I'm not going to go into any woo-woo stuff. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I won't do that. However, there has to be a reason deep enough that you're using to do what you're doing, which is going to push you to get past every obstacle. It's almost as if you have to have enough reason to run and keep running. It's you have to have enough reason to do what you're doing and keep doing what you're doing. A lot of times in the systems that have been created before, the reason was money. The reason was profit. And those are great reasons. I'm a money navigator. I'm all about efficiencies cash-wise and creating great cash flow. However, for us women, we seem to have other raison d'etres that are pushing us. The reason why we do what we do, even if a man and a woman are doing the same thing, the reason why they're doing it is different. And here's a case in point, one that I like to use. If both parents, let's say both parents want to get a home for their daughter to go to university, the male, and this again, very broad, very high level, but in one scenario, the male might say, this is a great investment. I want to set my child up for the future. So we'll get a house, we'll make it an investment. And this daughter of mine will be set. The woman, on the other hand, is possibly more concerned with, I need a safe place for my daughter to live so that she is not vulnerable. Living on campus can be testy, or that could be, that's not always so kosher. And there might be other challenges that the female would identify. The drivers, same reason, same decision, different drivers. And your financial confidence needs to be rooted in and pushed by those drivers. Those are the drivers that'll get you to do all the things you don't want to do. Yes, those are the things that'll have you cooking and baking and prepping at all hours of the night because you've got this to put out. If we're honest with ourselves, yes, we're going to run profitable businesses, but the sacrifices we're making in our businesses are usually rooted in more of that other stuff. We need to nurture that. We need to reinforce that raison d'etre, your why. Now, people talk about the why that makes you cry. Your why doesn't need to make you cry, but your why certainly should fuel you to do amazing things in your business and to push past the hurdle. This next point, I think speaks to every woman, and especially for women in the food services business, women who are creating from their kitchens. Traditionally, women as professional chefs, it's not a thing. There are females as professional chefs, but coming up through the ranks, it has been considered the thing that a woman does for her family, not the thing that she does professionally. I want you to understand one thing. A few things, but for this one point, your worth is not in your product. I want you to hear me clearly. When we as women can understand that our worth is not in our business, it's not in our product. No, it is not. Your worth is in you intrinsically as a person. And women through the ages have fought for the right for women to even be acknowledged as a person. And yet, because of the way the system has been set, our worth has been tied to not who we are, but what we can do and what we can bring. I'll tell you why I think that's important. When you understand your worth as a being, You will walk differently. You're going to talk differently. Watch me. Try it on for size. Channel your inner self-worth before you walk into that lender's appointment. They will look at you differently. Because there's something that happens when a woman acknowledges her self-worth. You are not worthy because of the money you can create or the pie that you can bake. You are worthy because you are you. I am a woman. Hear me roar. Yes, that's you. And I think we need to understand that there are things that you bring to the world that only you can bring to the world. There are going to be 5, 6 people lined up selling apple pie. You are the only one who can create your apple pie, but that is still not your measure of self-worth. Your measure of self-worth is here. What you're looking at in the camera, if your video's on, take a peek at yourself. That's who you are. Your financial confidence has to be rooted in your intrinsic self-worth, your intrinsic worth as a woman. Before I wrap up, I'll tell you this. I thought I had to put this line in because I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to say the proof is in the pudding, literally and figuratively, because you have a winning proposition. You have a product that is ready for the market. The market is waiting for you. You already have the proof. Now you need distribution. Now you need to get it to the world. And you are doubting yourself. You are thinking to yourself, but what if ABC and perhaps XYZ? We are a lot of times the biggest hurdles. And the financial confidence that you're looking for, if you're going to look for it to be wrapped up and tied up neatly in a bow that'll fit the system that is out there, it's going to be a challenge. The cure for our challenge with financial confidence is self-belief that is grounded in our core values and in our intrinsic drivers. Take a look at the awesomeness of who you are. And I'm not saying this just to be passe. I'm very, very literally saying, identify your best gifts. Identify your best gifts and understand that every time we hold ourselves back as women, we are holding our gifts hostage instead of sharing it with the world. The financial confidence that you're looking for, you will not find it in a spreadsheet. You will not find it in a business plan. You're not going to find it in a cash flow plan. I've worked with enough women to tell you with confidence that what you're looking for, you need to go inside for it. When you go inside and you find it, magic happens. I mean, things open up for you. And I'm not just saying this on an emotional level, but when you face the world with that confidence that you don't have to fake because you know it intrinsically, when you face the world with that, the world looks at you differently. The world treats you differently. You are acknowledged, you are seen, and you are heard. So as I am here sitting in sunny St. Lucia, I can tell you that it took a lot to create this for myself, with my husband, for my daughters. It didn't happen at the snap of a finger. It happened because, one, I identified that I wanted. I looked at what my best life would be like, and I made it my business to create it. Financial confidence is just the start of making your best life happen. It absolutely is you determining first, and that's how I work. Don't tell me you want to make $1 million. Tell me what is the life that you want to create. And then we work our way backwards using your best gifts to create it. Your financial confidence is the beginning of your best life. And when you can look inside for it everything on the outside kind of just falls into place. So I'm so, so happy that this is here for you, for all of the women who will come through this website, these programs that will come through, the webinars that you will be part of, all of the fantastic resources and tools that are already on the website. But understand this, it starts in here and then it comes out. Ask yourself about the life you want, and then you go out there and you make that happen. I think that's it. I think you've got what you needed. I'm happy to speak with you outside of this conversation, but I believe that you are ready to go. And I'm so excited for what's to come. Thank you all so very much. Much success to all of you.
Hey, Adriana, thank you. What you were saying really rang true for me. I was a food processor, a successful woman processor for 11 years until I retired. What you said really rang true. Any questions from our guests? We have a little bit of time.
I actually, my name is Heather, and I work on the Buy BC program, helping our members with an e-commerce program that was designed. And I think that I was just speaking with another member recently that had a call from Europe, and they really wanted her product. And she said, well, how was I going to all of a sudden get money together and whatever? And so I just said no, and I went, no, like slow motion, don't do that. It was immediately dismissed. So it was exactly what you're talking about. And I don't know if she's here today. I actually sent a message, but you just hit it on the head. I bet you everybody was, because I was sure nodding and have so been there. And we do, say, oh, well, yeah, I just do this, or I just do that, or I just do that. And this woman turned down a huge opportunity. And this is such an important initiative. I'm just so happy to be viewing it and being here to listen to you all. And I thought what you said was just bang on. There is no other way to look at it. And asking somebody, what do you want your life to be? That is something that I actually talk with the members too, because I've been there and my business didn't end up being what I wanted it to be. And so that was the thing, is know your exit plan too. Know how you want it to be. And do you want it to be for 5 or 10 years? Or do you want to be for 20 years? But figure it out. That was so astute of you. Yes, on everything. So thank you for that. Yeah, beautifully put.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you very much.
Yeah, can I have a question?
Go ahead, Johanna.
Yeah, just very inspiring. I really loved hearing your talk. One question is how or what have you seen about failure? Because sometimes there's these opportunities, but we as women think of failure probably different. Like, oh, what do you have to say about that? Like thinking about the failure and how that stops, like following through a project.
Yes, a failure is definitely something that we try everything we can to avoid. And I can appreciate that. Planning will allow most of your failures to be on paper and not so much in the real actual doing. That's planning, but everybody fell when they were learning to walk. So why are we so averse to failing? I think it comes again back to that intrinsic self-worth, because failure means that I am not good enough. But that's not true. Failure means you found one way that doesn't work and you've eliminated it. Next, right? But we as a society have attributed failure to who we are. We've made failure a character flaw, which it is not. Failure is actually evidence that we have tried and should be celebrated. Now, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and failing all the time, that's a different conversation, absolutely. But we need to celebrate our efforts and embrace the fact that we have failed, because it is not a defining characteristic. Failure is just par for the course. We're moving to bigger and better things. Hoorah! That's how I see it.
Mhm. Thank you, Adrienne. Any more questions? Well, then, Adrienne, I'd like to thank you for your insightful and inspiring message about financial confidence. I don't think it was quite what we were expecting to hear, and I think you went straight for our hearts. Thank you. So with that, I thank you, honored guests, for coming to the launch. Please check in to the Women's website to find new gender intelligent programs in development in support of small scale food processors. Remember that we have started micro investing program. It's in the works, but it is in the works. Also an impact investing program in the works. So that was really interesting to hear Adriana say that that's what we needed. And Sandy and Candace are on it. I think we're going to make a positive difference for small scale food processors in the country. And over time, I think there will be a shift in attitude. And I truly expect to see more startups stay in business and more food businesses successfully scale up. So with that, I wish you great success in your businesses, and class dismissed. Thank you for coming.